The Akai Force 3.0.2 update is now live, and it includes a little talk about update to MIDI tracks. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and do program changes on your MIDI tracks, and you can also do bank changes with an external synthesizer. Check it out. Hey, Matthew here with MatthewCreating.com, bringing you the best tips and tools with music production. And on this channel, I do setup videos, tutorials, and overviews just like this one. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. So there's a lot of hype about the splice integration, but this is going to be about a different part of the update that really isn't getting talked about. I want to talk about how you can actually do program changes for an external synthesizer, and you can actually do bank changes as well. And on a synth like the Blofeld, it does have several different banks that you can choose from. And each one of those banks contains 128 different sounds. So you can access several presets within the Blofeld. And you're going to be able to access that right from the Akai Force. So you can go ahead and go in there, change the programs in the Akai Force, and not even have to worry about messing with the knobs on the Blofeld. So first things first, go ahead and make sure that your devices are plugged in. You got the power going to them. The audio is going into your mixer, what have you. The next thing that needs to be done is you need to connect your MIDI cable. So this end of the MIDI cable with the connection here, you need to connect this adapter. That goes into the output of your Akai Force. And this is going to go into your input of the Blofeld. Go ahead and plug this into the output here. And go ahead and plug this into the input on the Blofeld. When you power on your Blofeld, it starts on bank A and it's 001 is the sound. You can change these manually, okay, right here. You can scroll through and change the different presets. But what I want to show you is how you could do that on the Akai Force. All right, so once you have your MIDI cable connected, go ahead and open up a MIDI track there. So now I inserted a MIDI track, and whenever I tap into there, we can see that it says MIDI channel 1. So it's going into MIDI channel 1. And that should be fine. So when I push notes and I push that, you can hear that the sound is actually coming out. Okay, so that sound is coming out of the Blofeld. So if you look at the Blofeld, there's an A right here. That means it's on bank A, and it says 001. That means it sounds 001 within the first bank, which is A. You can change the sound with this knob. Let me show you. You could change it. So these are the different sounds. And right here is the bank. So I can change the bank right there. You can see I'm going through E, F, G on the H. Okay, so there's A through H banks. I want to pull it back all the way to A. So this is bank A right there. And I could change the sounds, but I want to keep it on A001. Okay, now onto the Akai Force, MIDI port 1, channel 1. That's good there. Now there's a check right there. You can see that this box is dinged or checked, what have you. So if I uncheck that, it opens up right here. It says MIDI program change. So that's going to enable me to go ahead and change the MIDI program. Let me show you what I mean. So when I turn the data dial, if you look at the screen here on the Blofeld, that's actually changing. Now on the Akai Force, this is MIDI program change 2, which is actually 003. When it's MIDI program change 0, it's actually sound 001 on the Blofeld. So that's how you go ahead and change your sounds. Now the next thing I want to show you, MIDI bank off. So whenever this is checked, the MIDI bank is off. So I'm going to bring that check mark out of there. Now it says MIDI bank. Right here it says MIDI bank and then MIDI LSB. I'm going to ignore the MIDI LSB and just look at the MIDI bank. So you can see MIDI bank is on 0, but when I change the data dial or push these buttons here, it's going to change the bank to B. So if I put it up to 1, it's going to be B, and you can see it is in fact B. If I put it to 2, it's going to be C. If I put the bank to 3, it's going to be D. If I put the bank to 4 on the Force, it's going to be E. And it's going to continue through all the way through H. Okay, so MIDI bank 7 is actually H on there. So there are a ton of sounds on the synthesizer, and we have access to them right here out of the Force. So this could be beneficial. Maybe you don't want your Blofeld right here on the table. If you want to save space on your desk, you could put your Blofeld somewhere else and not even see what's going on with the Blofeld, and you could change the MIDI banks right there and get different sounds out of the Blofeld. Now, did it actually change the sound? Well, this is called the Captain Kirk sound. And indeed, it did change the sound. Let me put it back on bank A and go to program 1. Okay, so this is MIDI program change 1, which is 002 in the Blofeld. Okay, and say I wanted to go to like percussion sounds. Okay, so I'm in my my effects bank. And then you can see whenever I go back around 60, I get BD 808. Okay, so I got bass drum sounds. Okay, clap sounds. And I'm able to get to these sounds right from the Akai Force. Okay, onto a pad sound. So there's a ton of sounds in the Blofeld that I can access now. So I can program the Force inside this MIDI program, and the Force is going to play the sound that I go ahead and indicate here. If you want to see more videos about using MIDI gear with the Akai Force, click or tap the screen over here. It's going to give you an info card, and that's going to take you to the playlist. So you can go ahead and check out that playlist, and that playlist is going to go ahead and show you different ways you can use different synths. I went over the Digitone and how you can use the Digitone, and you can use program changes in the Digitone to go ahead and change the different patterns. And the Blofeld is a multi-timbral synth, so go ahead and click or tap the screen right there. I'm going to show you how you can actually set up different MIDI tracks inside the Akai Force so you can use several sounds at one time coming straight from the Blofeld. Click the middle right here. That way you can subscribe, click the bell icon, and get notified with the new videos. My name's Matthew. Continue creating music, and we'll talk soon.